In 1972, when I was 17 years old, a friend had drowned in a pond on a farm. It is called the Twin Ponds because there were two ponds close together. He'd been swimming with his cousins. His name was Gary, and he was 19 years old. He had naturally curly shoulder-length black hair. About 1 or 2 months after he had died, his mother called me, wanting to come and stay with her for a while because she was alone. She lived in walking distance of the ponds in a small house that had 4 rooms downstairs and 1 room upstairs on a country road where there are not very many cars. Gary's room was the one that was upstairs. The stairs were the type that had a wall on each side and a door at the bottom. His mother told me that I could sleep in his room, but I didn't want to. Everything was still the same as he had left it. It still looked as if he would be back at any time. So I stayed in a bedroom downstairs next to the stairs that led to his bedroom. One night, when I had went to sleep, I was either sleepwalking or dreaming that I was walking down the road in the direction of the Twin Ponds. There was a bright full moon, and I was standing there wondering why I was walking alone on the road at night and where I was going. I saw someone walking up the road towards me. As he got closer, I saw that it was Gary. I tried to speak to him saying his name, but he would not answer or look at me. He just kept walking at a slow pace. A few inches past me with his head down, and his eyes were half closed. I could have reached out and touched him, but for some reason I didn't. I saw that his hair was wet, but it was not raining. Water was dripping off his hair, and his face was glistening in the moonlight. I watched him as he walked toward the house and disappeared. I guess he was going home. What happened next is where it gets strange because I swear that I was awake at this time. I woke up in bed thinking about the dream I just had and got a funny feeling I was being watched. I turned over and looked at the open bedroom door, and that's when I saw Gary standing there. He was leaning against the door with his arms crossed with a blank stare and smiling at me. He was wearing a white shirt with a V-neck, long baggy sleeves and dark pants. The same thing he was wearing when I saw him on the road in my dream. The curtains were open, and the moonlight came through the window, so I could see him clearly and everything in the room. I rose up on my elbow, smiling back at him. As I started to speak to him, he started moving towards me. And this is when I became scared and threw the blankets over my head because he was not moving in a normal way. He was floating and gliding with his arms down to his sides, and I saw nothing below his knees. That was when I remembered that he was dead. I had forgotten until then, and while I was under the blankets, I started praying real fast, waiting for the blankets to move or for him to touch me, and after a few minutes that seemed like forever, I peeped out from under the blankets and saw nothing. So I jumped out of bed and ran across the room and turned on the lights. I must have made a lot of noise. My feet hit the hardwood floor and getting to the wall where the light switch was because his mother came running into the room from her bedroom with just her nightgown on and a worried look on her face asking me what was wrong. I lied and told her there was nothing. It was embarrassing for waking her up in the middle of the night, and I also did not want to tell her that I thought I'd seen her son's ghost. And then she started laughing and said, "You're lying. You saw Gary, didn't you? I know you did. I can tell by the way you're acting, and you look so pale. He won't hurt you. I see him all the time." I already knew he would not hurt me. That's not what scared me. I wasn't scared of him until I remembered that he was dead. We went back to bed and I slept with the light on the rest of the night. When it became daylight, I told her that I wanted to go home, but she wanted me to stay with her, telling me again that Gary would not hurt me. As it was getting dark out, the more nervous and scared I became, so she let me go home. I couldn't spend another night there. I still went and spent time with her during the day, but at night I would leave. She has died since then, and I know she's with her son now. It's been 30 years, and I still cannot go into that house at night.